TrajicK presents Behind the Beats.
What's up, everyone? This is TrajicK with Behind the Beats, brought to you by TrajicK. All right, so this is part two of my workflow series. I wanted to make sure that I got you as much info as I could, again, about my workflow process and how I've optimized it to be able to get my tracks done as fast as possible. For those of you, well, this is, again, I made these videos for a couple of friends of mine that asked me about it, and I wanted to make sure I shared it with the rest of you. So please understand, this is not a training video on the product that you see in front of you, which is Studio One. Just like this wasn't a training product on Ableton in part one, I'm not going to be showing you how to use Studio One. Okay, so I will get you for those of you that do need that information. There are videos. You can go to the PreSonus page. Go to their YouTube account. They have tutorials there. That's where I learned how to use this software during the when I downloaded the beta. So I believe you should be able to follow most of this, if not a good portion of this, in the DAW of your choice. I just know that you're not going to be as efficient as how you're about to see me work. You're not going to be able to do some of the things that I'm able to do. You'll just have to figure out how to do when we get to those parts. You're going to have to figure out how to do them yourself. You'll see that this is extremely streamlined and extremely fast. This is why I use it and why I don't use any of the other softwares anymore. This one has taken priority lead in my engineering, mixing, mastering, recording, tracking. All of that is in here now. Voiceovers, everything is in this now. So I don't use anything else for that. As you see right now, we're still using the point of no return example. This is the track that I should put some links on in the video at the end. The point of no return track beat that was released a few weeks ago. So, well, I don't know when you're watching it, so it was released, and this is the video based on that. So this way you can hear the final project at the end. I have these tracks. I just open up the program. This is pretty much what you'll see, minus seeing all of this stuff here. You'll just get this big screen without all this stuff. How I got tracks into there, how to get tracks into the program instead of going file and opening up tracks. I don't do that. I actually go right here, and let's just say if I need these tracks, I'll just drag. Hold on one second. I gotta move this to the. Yeah. Okay, now it's set. All right, so yeah, just drag and drop. There, they're in. Now I can just, that's it. That's how I got the tracks in. I'll show you again, because it's that simple. Drag. There. Beats are in. These are the layered files from Ableton. Okay, so all the, when I exported these out as split tracks, and that's why I have all of the tracks out of Ableton, and I can now do my mix in here. If you need the mixer, there's two ways of getting there. You can click mix, and that'll show you your mixer tracks, or you can double click on a track to get the mixer track. Double click on it. Usually this would be at normal, I think. Yeah. I don't know, I must have done something. color codes, changing colors. You just click on the box and you can change the colors to whatever you want. Makes it easier for me to know what I'm working with. I'm pretty consistent in my color schemes. If you have anything on the track, these areas, if you have something like automation, you click down here, you can actually get to your automation tracks, which I have automation, but we'll get there later. I'll show you exactly how that works. So again, this is the track, everything's in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo everything out for you. But before that, let me show you this area down here. Okay, so if I have a lot of files here, if I have a lot going on, let's say if I have 15 tracks, like with just the verse 1, or if I have a lot of breakdowns, or I have a lot of things going on, a lot of layers on this track, then there's this remote area. I use it as not a solo, but just I can play the whole song and be able to just manipulate the tracks in here. So all you do is you click and you drag, and you can turn tracks on and off. Now you can do it here, but it's almost, for me, I treat it like A and B. So I can have an area that I just work on without muting or hiding stuff, and then quickly just go back to it. So this way I can work on something here, lower something, come back, and just be isolated on the tracks that I wanted to work on over here. It makes it a lot easier to do that. Let's talk about the bus. When I want effects on specific things, like here, you'll see I have the Manny Marroquin tone shaper. That's in the Waves package, the latest Waves. I think it's Waves 11 or something like that. I use the tone shaper because it has the width spreader right there, and I just like the way the plugin has not only width, but I can also do a little bit of EQ on the area. Not a little, but a lot, as long as the track is stereo. As long as you have a stereo track, it'll be able to be widened. So first, let's talk about tracks. If you go up here and you go to track, you see add tracks, you see the letter T at the side. That means if I want to add a track, instead of me clicking menus, I can just hit T, and there you go. I've got a pop-up box, add tracks. I can say what those are. So this is going to be test. I want 2 tracks. Type is going to be, you can say audio, instrument, automation. Instrument means you can use plugins, automation, and folder. Here you'll have your colors, if you want to add colors to it now, whether you want them in mono and stereo. If you have any presets you want to use, I don't really tend to do that. And then inputs. All right, so then that's everything. You just hit OK. Now I have 2 tracks. Now what I can do is I clicked one, shift click, and now I can click multiple. So I click 1, shift click, got multiple. So taking these, I'm going to drag it over here. I want it out of the way because these are test files. If you want to record, you just hit record. You just need to arm it, and then to record the track, you will press the asterisk button on your numeric pad, and that will start recording. That's how easy it is to record. So arm, and after arming, hit the asterisk button, and let me turn that off so I can, you see, recorded. I don't think it's gonna have anything because I don't have my I don't have my microphone turned on, amp from a mic turned on for the condenser mic. So, but I just wanted to show you that, just show you the fact that that's how easy it is to record. Now let's talk about these tracks. Let's say these tracks I wanted to put effects. Let's say there's an audio here and an audio here, and I want to put an effect on both of these tracks at the same time. What I can do is click, and again, shift click, I have both of them highlighted, right click, add bus for selected tracks. There. Now, let's talk about effects. I can click the browse, and here's all my effects. I usually keep it by vendor. You can do it flat where you just get everything. By folder. I choose by vendor so I know exactly what vendor I'm going to. You can categorize it, which again, I don't really use it like that. And so if I wanted to make a category, and you can categorize what plugins you want for specific things. But for me, what I have here, I just use the search, and let's say I want to put reverb on this channel. Let's use reverb. And now what I can do is take the reverb and drag and drop it on this bus. Now, of course, I like to, let's say test. I like to name my bus and of course highlight it. Use a different green this time. And now if you double click, you expand it, and there's your reverb on these two tracks. Now, as you saw, that's it. That's exactly how I work as far as adding effects to tracks and adding tracks. So as you saw, T adds a track. I can choose how many tracks I want. I can color code them. Then I want a bus. I select these two tracks, right click, add a bus to that. That now allows me to add effects to both of these at the same time. And we'll remove this real quick. Remove. Now if I wanted this instead, I drag and drop. That's it. That's how simple it is to add effects to tracks. You're not going through menus. The program allows you to work without thinking, where is that at, or where is this at? Things get out of your way during the creation process using Studio One, which is the reason I use it now, because everything's out of my way. I'm not trying to be technical. I'm trying to get a song done. So this is how I get my songs done. All right, and it's to get rid of the track, to get rid of my bus, I just right click and remove. And on these tracks, if I want to get rid of these tracks, since there's no remove for audio tracks, that keeps you from deleting things by accident. You can shift, so you can't hit the delete key. The delete key won't delete, so that keeps you from deleting stuff. You actually push shift and T, and those remove so it removes those tracks. So again, that's why one of the reasons I use this software. It's that easy. So T to add a track, shift T to remove a track, right click on a bus and physically click remove. So it keeps you from deleting things by accident. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's get into the breakdown of the song itself now. So now you understand where I got this bus and why this is here, but let me just explain it. This bus, the sample bus, is for both samples. I just wanted to affect both samples at the same time, not run two plugins on it. The kick and snare and all the other programs, all the other, not programs, but all the other layers or files are bouncing to the premix bus I created. The samples are coming into the sample bus that's here, and this sample bus goes to that premix bus I created. What's on my premix bus? Just a little touch of reverb, because I do all of my work up here. I don't try to do it at the end of the chain. And the premix bus is going to main, as you can see here. So is my watermark, it's going to main, and I didn't put anything on my watermark either. So So if you look at my stereo bus, there's nothing here. Oh, and how did I get here? Double click. Just double click. You can double click on the gray area down here, or you can click over here, or you can click on there. There's a lot of ways to get to the same place, same destination. Okay, so see, there was nothing on the stereo bus. I try to keep away from the stereo bus. So if I wanted another bus for this to bounce down and say, oh, I want to call this my quote unquote master bus, then I could add another bus, then put effects on there for mastering and do it that way. This way, if you want to do something like have a delay on and you want that delay to be the same across the entire song, you create a bus for it. So right click and add a bus, and let's just name this, say, delay, right? And then let's say, hold on, let's say I want a delay on this, so let's go ahead and just do that. Say I want to throw a delay on there. I throw it on this track, so now it's got a delay on there, and this is going to be my delay. And what I do is then I would hit T, right? Go ahead and create an automation track. I just want one. And then that automation track, I want to call it delay auto. I'll give it a weird color. Okay, so now down here, I have a delay auto. And what I want to add to my delay auto, what I want to do is go to delay, because it's now taking the name of this. Go to the inserts and drop down. Go to bypass. And what you do is add bypass over. And now I could trigger the bypass on this and automate the bypass for when I want a delay to come in and out. So I just hit right. And then what I can do is go here, go to delay. Let's have this on. We click this and you'll see if you hover over it says bypass automatable. So now I'm in bypass mode. And you see it's just written the bypass. I know it sounds like crap, but you get the point. This, now I can automate a bypass on a delay. If I want to put a delay on just vocals, I could then just automate the delay on just the vocal. And then I'll just turn off the write, put it to read, and now it'll read that from then on out. Okay? Let's remove that. And for this, Shift T to remove the track. So that's how you can automate effects. On this track itself, I did automate stuff, so let's go ahead and get into that since we're here now. I'm gonna show my automation. So you can see I have doing the same thing, turning on the read on the bass. Excuse me, so on the bass here, so if I go here, if you turn on the right, and how I got to the mute, it's like when you're here, add remove, and you see I had vocal, volume pan were on this side, so they were over here. So I had removed them, and mute was over here. I added it over here, and then now what I can do is, once you're in write mode, so let's try this on another track so you can actually see it and see what the workflow for it. So we'll do it with the hi-hats, all right? Because I don't have any effects on I don't have any automation on the hi-hats. I know it's on the kick and snare, show automation. And I don't have any on the hi-hat. So let's go ahead and put some automation on this, and let's put it right around here. Let's put it in this where the verse is, because I know the verse is here. I know the hooks are up here. So I'm going to put it into the verse so it's not so distracting while we work on this. All right. So automation, auto. I'm going to go into write mode, right? On this track. If you can't see these buttons, make sure you're not too far down. Like, what you can do is use this, and you can zoom in and out until you can see this. Okay? And you can also zoom on this side. You can also zoom in and out here. Click here, you'll see there's nothing there. It says display off, add, remove. The volume and pans aren't there. I will move mute. You can double click it or click the add button like you saw before. Close. So now the hi-hats have an automation track. And now I have it armed. So you can either go here, click it, click right, or here and click it and click right. And then on the mute, just so now you have that done. Let's go to read, and now that automation is there. So let's say like we need to zoom in, Control Shift, and wherever your cursor is at, you'll see it turns into an area. And now I can zoom by using the scroll wheel. I can zoom in. If you're on a Mac, I don't think you have a scroll wheel, but you can figure that out. All right, so once we're in the scroll wheel, I can go deeper into the track. And let's say I didn't like where this ended up coming in. So I don't like where it cut off. It cut off in the middle of that. So you know what? What I'm going to do is move it even further in. Now it's where that empty space is there, where it got some silence. And when I do it now, see? Move it in a little bit. Oh, you might have snap on. So turn snap off. So if you have snap on, it's going to snap to the grid, and you might not be able to get it where you want. Turn snap off. I have it off most of the time. I turn that off immediately. So if I wanted it here, now. So now you can see how automation works. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the automation track on this. Let's see, we got rid of the automation. Let's start going through the actual track. So now that you understand what automation looks like, you can see some of my tracks have it. Just the kick and the bass, kick and snare and bass have it. None of the other tracks have it. I just wanted these to kind of flow a little bit different, and the bass only cut a few times. So let's go to here, let's solo out, S to solo. This is your mutes. So I have the bus here, which you now understand how to do that. And double click on the effect, which you know I dragged and dropped it in. Let's go ahead and get some more room. I can click browse, get rid of that. And so why did I use the Manny Marroquin plugins instead of regular EQs? I like that I can get width, stereo imaging, and widen out a track. So since I have this stereo, I can widen out and then do little effects. And I didn't need much because I chose the right sounds for what I wanted. So I didn't have to tone them up or touch them up. What I'll do is, like on the sample, I bumped at the lows because I wanted the lows to kind of roll in. And if you hover over, you can see I didn't put much on it. So I'm not mistaken. Let me just quickly just put a track because I want to make sure. Oh, I know what the problem is. I forgot automation. Sorry. Audio track. Okay, so audio track. I just want to see something really quick. Browse. Let's go to shape. Stereo. Drag and drop. Okay, so yeah, all of these levels, when you load it, your direct will be at 0. Everything will be down. Shift T, forget. Okay. And so when I look at it, double click. I'm gonna double click here. So now you can see, based off the defaults, this is what I did to the shape of the sound. I shaped the sound like such, spread it out. I want it away from the middle because I don't want to clog the middle up where the vocal needs to be. So I want to space all of that out and get it out of the way up front. So if you listen to the sample, you'll see that. So we're gonna, this will bypass. So I'm gonna turn it off to bypass it. This is without it. This is with it. Without. Okay. Which you can, all right, so we got that. Kick and snare. Again, I use Manny, and I use the CLA 76. You can see what I did. I boosted everything in this kick and snare. I wanted the lows, cut a little bit of the mids, got back with the highs, and I spread it out. Why did I spread this out? Because again, I know you don't need to put the kick anywhere else. You can put it dead center and really have it dead center, but I like the fact that it was spreading a bit with the song, and again, getting out of the way of where some of the vocal was gonna be. I wanted it a little bit out of the way. It just had a better sound. So without, with, without, now you see I dropped the level because the levels it's minus 14. So, you know, 0 would be about halfway. I dropped it down minus 14. Why? Because I was going to over crank the CLA and I needed room. So, without. There you go. Without it and with. See the difference? That's the reason why I did. And you can see for the mids, I just turned my levels so that I could, where I wanted the sound to be affected, I cranked it lower and I cranked it higher up here. Well, no, this is the primary setting. I moved this just because I like the way the tone, and again, trying to shape the sound and kind of move it out of the way. Get the where I want it to be affected out of the way. And hi-hats, I showed a bit of it in the Ableton video with the delays. I have 1/16 now, 90 BPM. Instead of it saying the host file, it's at 90 because I forgot to turn my channel to 90, the tempo here to 90. And here's your metronome, by the way, in case you need a metronome, or the C button for your metronome. Forgot that. But here's your tempo, so you can double click and change the tempo here, but I don't want to change it now that it's in here because it'll affect the track. So you can I changed it up here using the waves delay, and just changed it to 90 since I knew that was what it was in Ableton, and affected it there. And you can see I have it wet 100%. I didn't change anything here. I pretty much the default sounded fine for me. So without, it's the same plain hi-hat you heard in Ableton. Let me just solo that. Oh, this is being toned. Let me just turn the reverb off the premix bus. There. Okay, with the delay. That gives me my swing. And then on the C4, I wanted to emphasize the tapping sound I heard. So I boosted the frequency where it was. I like the way that sounded for the song itself. So the bass on, you see I use clean bass on GuitarRig. Why did I use GuitarRig? GuitarRig is extremely clean sounding when you know how to work it. So I went to bass amps. I have the GuitarRig 5 something the other, 5.2, 5.1, I don't remember what it is. And what I did was I used the clean rig, and you can swap out your stuff. I swapped out some stuff. I don't remember exactly which one I swapped. And then move my microphone placement, which you can move your mic where you wanted it. It was just click and drag. I moved it to the center. You can change your microphone if you want to change your mic. And I cranked up the bass, and I did some, affected up here, and I think I cranked a little over there. That's that. So you get, let me solo this. Okay, it's off. Right? Let's put this right where the chorus is. So you can see it's fattened up the track, fattened up that bass. I didn't need to do parallel compression on it because I would if I wanted to get even fatter sound, but I just like the way that sound with the rest of it. I didn't need to go crazy. The track was already had a lot going on. I didn't need to fatten up the bottom even further. Horns, Manny again, boosted up. I left the frequency. I didn't really boost any highs. Left everything pretty much the way it was. Again, switched this out. So I wanted to affect where this was going to be, to get it out of the way over there. Didn't do anything with the direct. I didn't need to raise or lower it because there's nothing else to do. And I, of course, widened it out. So without it, let's get without it. So you can see it spreads it out, gets it out of the way. Getting things out of the way in the middle is important. That's where the vocal's supposed to be. So I want to make sure the beats have that up front. Get things out of the way, and this is why this plugin works so well. It's probably going to be in everything I use now, until something else comes along that I like. That when I need to get out of the way, it's not going to be on every track. Because like you see, I didn't use it. Did I use it? No, I didn't use Manny on the bass. Because the bass, I wanted it in the middle. I wanted it to clog the center. Synth. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Synth, nothing on there. It's the same synth that you heard in Ableton. Strings. Yes, Manny again. Spread them out. Emphasize the highs. Boosted the lows a little bit. Left the direct alone. Let's go back to the hook because that's where you'll hear it the most. So, without, with. So there we have that. So you can see, very sharp, warm, all right? And then in the pre-mix, I just have a reverb with a little bit of wet into it and a pre-delay. This is why you don't see it on my string. So if we just solo these two things alone, and I have that off, and I leave the strings on, so you can hear that's on this. Let's go back to the beginning of this right here. See, just enough. Again, I don't want reverb to sound like an effect. I want it to just do its job and give an instrument or even a vocal a space to live. So, and why I put a little bit of reverb on the top of the track is to start gluing everything together. So all these sounds are from different places, and you need something to kind of give it a tone across, to give it a unified sound. And I use reverb to do that. And depending on what reverb I use, just defines what the sound is for that particular song. For me, our verb did the job, and I didn't need anything else. So we talked about automation. We talked about the effects. You heard all the effects. So I know all of my effects are set. So what I'm gonna do is play the track. So from the top, let's go to the top. We're gonna use the zero button on the numeric pad, which if you hover, you'll see it tells you the zero pad. Start is the enter key, or I use the space bar. And record, you see, is the asterisk. If you want to go back to 0, you're going to use the period on the number pad. Okay, so here we go. See? So everything really fills out. See? This is my workflow. Like I showed you, it's not really as complicated. I'm bouncing around, so I apologize. But I mean, if you watch it a few times, you get it. It's not complicated. The software is really easy. Again, T to record, Shift T to delete. Um, you know, you put your automation tracks when you need them. You know, your T to create an automation track, just go to the drop down, grab one, and then you can put it on effects. You know, you can again highlight tracks, add a bus, put it just on that bus. So if you want to just affect something with a vocal effect, create the vocal effect on a bus. Don't put it on the track. Put it on a bus, and then now you can trigger it when you need it. Okay, so this is my workflow. I hope it was helpful. I'll have more tutorials for you so that you can get a better understanding of what, both the software I use in Ableton and of course Studio One. I will have more training videos on these just to get whenever I come up with something or I see something or there's a trick I'm using for a particular song that you need to, you may gain some benefit from. I want to make sure I do that. If you're doing Pro Tools, I mean, there's ways to do it. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work for you. It's for me, this is the easiest way for me to work and the fastest way I've gotten back to actually recording music and concentrate on the music, not trying to be so technical. Let's get the technology out of the way and get back to making music. So hopefully this is helpful to you. If you need to ask me any questions, I'm on Twitter. You can find me at TrajicK. And of course, you can hit me on Facebook. Same thing. I'm TrajicK on Facebook. So you can hit me up, ask me any questions that you need. I'll try to be as helpful as I can. I don't have a lot of time. I'm usually working on a project, especially this summer. There's gonna be a lot of projects that I gotta engineer for and do some mixes for. So I may not have, if I don't get back to you immediately, please don't think I'm blowing you off. I do get a lot of questions and I try to get to them as soon as I can. The fastest way is to hit me up on Twitter. I can answer it right there. Just hit me with the @TrajicK, and I'll see that before anything else because I'm not on Facebook a lot. So hit me up on Twitter mostly if you want to have any questions. If you have any suggestions for tutorials between Ableton and Studio One. Can't really show you anything else. Maybe I can show you a little bit of the cutting that I do in SoundForge. If you're interested in learning that, let me know. I can do that for you. Also, there's some other programs. So I'll try to help out as much as I can. Just get at me and let me know. But this is TrajicK for Toxic Hustle, Behind the Beats. Thanks for listening. I hope this helps. Peace out.